Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Raghav Jagannathan. Welcome to today's ILTA webinar, Scaling Knowledge at an AM Law Firm, Dickinson Wright's AI-driven Internet Transformation. My name is Raghav. I'm here joined with our esteemed client, a senior data scientist, Jaden, who will be introducing himself in a second. Just before we get started, we want to open up a couple of poll questions. If you guys can please answer them. It should be popping up right on your screen, just for us to understand the profile of the audience and what sort of current initiatives you have around intranet, as well as generative AI powered use cases. So while you do that, I'm just going to continue on here. My name is Raghav. I've been working with SharePoint Technologies for quite a while, almost 2 decades. I'm a prolific speaker. I've been speaking at many different conferences. I've spoken at the recent ILTA conference. This year, as well as last year, I was a speaker at the Copilot and SharePoint Symposium. I've done a fair amount of speaking also at ILTA Evolve this year. I contribute also to a fair number of ILTA blogs and articles. You can scan these QR codes to read some of my recent posts on generative AI, especially on the ILTA Peer-to-Peer magazine. Also, I'm the founder and CEO of KLapper, we're a global software and services company based out of New Jersey. We work with around 31 AM law firms, around 20 mid-sized firms, around 6 general counsels of Fortune 100 companies around the world. And I'm also the founder and CEO of Cobot Inc. We are a software company, primarily a generative AI software company, marketing our flagship product, KLapper, our agentic AI agent builder platform, as well as 2 other products called NetDocShare and IamDocShare for surfacing net.fi image content in M365. That's a quick intro about myself and our business. I'm just going to pass over to Jaden here, who's going to introduce himself and talk about Dickinson Wright and some of the really cool work they're doing with our private AI platform, KLapper. Over to you, Jaden.
Thank you for the introduction, Raghav. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for coming. I'll start with a little bit of background about myself. My name is Jaden Tredup. I've been the senior data scientist with Dickinson Wright for about 1.5 years now. I received my master's degree in electrical engineering from UNLV, where my research focused on developing assistive technology using machine learning techniques on non-invasive brain-computer interfaces. After grad school, I spent a few years working as an AI research and development engineer, most notably spending 2.5 years with LivePerson working on LLM-based agentic customer service chatbots, including publishing papers and patenting novel hallucination detection techniques. As I said, I joined DW about 1.5 years ago after a friend of mine who was an attorney for the firm connected me to the COO when he had heard that the firm was looking into AI initiatives. Ultimately, I was brought on to help spearhead a number of AI projects that look at both the business and practice of law using internal development through a local Azure tenant, as well as integrating solutions from third-party vendors such as KLST. I was brought on not only for my experience with AI, but particularly for my emphasis on enforcing ethical, safe, and responsible development practices. When I joined, I was pleasantly surprised at how advanced the firm's data strategy was, and it became clear that they were in a good position to start leveraging the benefits of AI. They already made great efforts to centralize the data from over 13 different sources through the integration of an integrated data lake. Having this data easily accessible, clearly labeled, and cleaned is paramount to any AI project, and really put DW in a good position to be on the cutting edge. I think it's no surprise then that we have found in KLST a strong partnership to help utilize the wide array of data that we have across a number of platforms, which includes, but is not limited to, empowering our firm's intranet with generative AI. Here's a quote from our firm's COO, Michael Kolb. He's been really thrilled with our work with KLST so far. He said, "Our AI-powered intranet delivers measurable operational improvements by centralizing access to all firm tools and institutional knowledge in a single platform, enabling our teams to operate more efficiently. This unified approach ensures consistent access to resources across all offices and practice groups. By putting powerful AI capabilities powered by KLapper at everyone's fingertips, we're driving productivity gains that directly impact our bottom line while improving the day-to-day experience for our entire workforce." So here's an example of what it looks like having KLapper built into the search function. Instead of having to open up a chat window like you are speaking with a customer service agent who is only pre-programmed to answer like 5 different questions total, you can just enter a natural language query straight into the search function and get immediate grounded results. You'll hear me mention that word grounded a lot because ultimately that is the most important aspect of generative AI. We've all heard stories of lawyers being sanctioned for using erroneous AI-generated information in court. Having an AI system which not only provides citations, but also provides clickable links gives users the peace of mind to know that the generated answer is grounded in truth. Here's an example of KLapper being used to pull information directly from our staff manual. This is extremely useful for a number of reasons. I mean, I probably don't have to tell you all that the standard search functions in a lot of intranets tends to be less than optimal. I spent a lot of time at previous jobs looking through, trying to find the old staff manual on the internet without really much luck. And then once I do find, having a hard time finding the actual information I needed within the manual. With a KLapper-empowered intranet, I can ask my question directly into the search bar, get exactly the answer I need, and most importantly, the answer is grounded in truth with a provided citation, so I don't need to trust its answer blindly. I can verify it myself within a few seconds. It's useful for more than just referencing policies, though. KLapper can connect to our backend system, so it can query directly using a REST API. This allows users to go in and enhance their workflow by looking up important information directly within the intranet. For example, if someone is interested in suggesting we pilot a new AI tool and wants to talk to someone about it, they can look up who in the firm our data scientists are so that they can initiate the conversation. It can also be used for looking at matter information as well. Here we showed finding us a list of matters that have been open in the last 90 days. It provides all of the key information on each matter as well as links to view them. And this can be used for more than just seeing what has been open recently. You can see some of the information we redacted, such as total accounts receivable and year-to-date billable. Well, you can also use those as search terms and find matters which have the most of either property or something what come up with most recently too. And of course, there's the option to look up client data as well. In this example, I gave it kind of an ambiguous query to show its robustness. I wanted to ask it to give me the client information for a large company that we work with. However, this company is not a singular client. There are other subsidiaries that fall under their umbrella. KLapper was not only able to find the client information for the original company, but also pull the information for the relevant other clients, which is particularly helpful if I did not remember the exact name of the smaller client I was searching for. So now I'm going to show a recorded demo. So this is one thing that we're also using the KLapper-empowered intranet for, is that there's all kinds of documents that our lawyers need to reference, such as like regulatory documents that they generally search online for answers for questions and regulations. And so I've developed bots to basically answer these questions for them within our intranet. And so this is showing how easy it is to create one of these. In this case, I'm creating one for the manual patent examining procedures. And so right now, this is for our IP attorneys. This is just going through the general bot creation steps. I've already created the bot and spent the time training it, which is kind of what takes the most time. So this is kind of like just a test system showing that creating the agent takes no time, which is already almost done here. I'm going to select the Create Agent button. This is all within the KLapper Builder's UI as well. So it's very intuitive, easy to manage. And then if you all use this, you'll have the same UI, and it's really easy to navigate. It takes a few seconds. Now the bot is created, we're going to go over to the settings here, and there's a setting exclude internet knowledge base. So the reason that I'm going to check this box is because I'm already arming the bot with all the information it needs to answer any questions about the manual patent examining procedure. And so if I don't check this box, it's also going to have the opportunity to go online and find any information. So by checking it, I'm basically telling the bot that you're only answering questions relevant to the set of documents that I'm providing. And so this shows that the document I'm arming it with has, 30 to 40 different PDF documents. I download a zip file from the website and then just go and upload it here. It's really easy. And not going to make you guys wait through the learning process. That can take a little while, sometimes like a half hour to an hour, depending on the size of the documents. This is a particularly large one, so it will take a bit. But thankfully, I've already created the bot and have it deployed so that you can just see it in action. The last thing I did is I edited the welcome message just to give it more of a personalized introduction to it being the manual patent examining procedure. In general, there's just like a stock welcome message that you can actually edit in the global settings as well if you want to make it more customized to your firm. So now on SharePoint, we're going to go ahead and add a page. And it's going to be a relatively simple page. We're not going to focus on making it, super pretty or anything, just because this is showing the functionality over all the really thorough customization stuff. So we add they created this little web piece, and you just add that within SharePoint once you've created the page. It's telling you the agent is not loaded, so you need to check the properties. You click that button on the left, it loads this, and now you can see it has access to all of our KLapper bots that I've built on the builder, just like that. Going to change the name, make it just call it the demo page, since again I've already created the actual version of this page we're using, and this is just to show the process. So now to load it onto the page, we're going to go over to this quick link section, which literally just gives us the option to add links to individual pages that we've created. We're going to go find the recently created demo page, and just like that, it's there. It gives you the option to select an image like we did with the original one. I don't have that image on my computer, so I didn't put it up here. But this shows you just how easy it is to go from not having a bot at all to having the bot deployed on your page. This took less than 10 minutes to do, and you can do this over and over again. So we have not just the manual patent examining procedures, we also have a real estate bot that's made specifically for our Michigan real estate attorneys and has a number of different documents that they reference continuously. We also have the opportunity to KLapper connects to NetDocs, and so we can actually train bots on our NetDocs documents, which is really cool because so NetDocs, obviously people have different permissions to view different things. KLapper thankfully respects all of the security permissions within NetDocs. And so you could, in theory, not necessarily recommending you do this, but you could train a bot on the entirety of your firm's NetDocs and then, just release it to everyone in the firm. Then when they go to ask questions about it, it can tell who has access and permissions to view which documents. And so it'll only answer questions that that user has permissions to. And the last thing I'm going to show is in the end of that demo recording, I was showing the answers that were given to the questions. When I recorded that demo, that's how the citations looked. It just showed you what documents it was coming out of. A few weeks ago, I mentioned to Raghav and the team that it'd be great if there was the opportunity to actually click the citations and see where in the document it's coming from, because if it gives you a 50-page document says, yeah, the answer came from here, you still have to search through 50 pages to find the answer. I thought it might take them a while to implement this, and within a couple of weeks, they said, oh yeah, we're actually going to have this feature done in the next update. And right after I'd recorded this demo overnight, the feature went out. And so here's actually a screenshot of that now. I didn't get to re-record the demo with it, but this shows that now once you ask it a question, it gives you the answer instead of just finding the document and having to sift through 50 or however many pages. It will actually highlight the section and take you directly there. So it makes your fact-checking process virtually effortless. And it's a wonderful feature. And I think it's also a testament to Raghav and the KLST team, how quickly and easily they were able to integrate this all. And to close out my section, finish it off with a quote from my boss, Renee Morris, who is also really thrilled with the work the KLST team has done for us. She says, our AI-empowered intranet transforms how we manage institutional knowledge, serving as a centralized hub for all our AI tools, enabling instant access to firm expertise. By intelligently surfacing the right information at the right time, we empower our team to focus on high-value work rather than administrative tasks. This one-stop platform ensures that every team member benefits from our collective expertise in AI capabilities, regardless of their tenure or practice area. And back to you, Raghav.
Thanks, Jaden. Great job. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. So we're going to open up a quick poll here just to kind of understand from the audience what you guys just saw and your feedback, how it might relate to what you guys are trying to do with your intranet, what kind of capabilities you're trying to implement, as I said, from a generative AI perspective, search perspective, some use cases. If you can please help us respond to that survey question, that'd be greatly appreciated. So we'll have that poll open for a couple of minutes. So while you guys do that, I'm going to jump over to the second part of this demo after Jaden's awesome presentation. My demo, as you can see, as you heard from Jaden, Dickinson Wright is focused on surfacing firm intelligence from the firm's KM platforms, from net documents DMS to time and billing information stored in the time billing databases through to multiple other applications, all surfacing seamlessly right within the search bar of SharePoint. KLapper is a private AI agent builder platform. Because KLapper lives inside the Dickinson Wright's firm's tenant, it basically has the ability to learn from all those different data sources because it securely connects to those data sources and learns where the data lives. And the key takeaway here is that it is an agent builder platform. So you can build an agent once with KLapper in that private setting, everything from the RAG to the database through the content it learns, everything lives right within your tenant. Nothing leaves your tenant. In fact, the builder platform itself lives inside your tenant. So you're not logging into the third-party platform or whatnot because it's a completely 100% private platform. So for what about iManage is the question to ask. So because it's an agent builder platform, you can take KLapper agents, as we saw Jaden show, you can surface it in SharePoint. Just on a page, just click on and select the agent you want to surface right within a SharePoint page or within a SharePoint search bar. But what about iManage? What about Teams? What about Microsoft Word? So we believe in intelligence everywhere. We don't believe that intelligence should be tethered to one browser window. So with KLapper agents, surface wherever attorneys work. So my demo right now is going to showcase how this agent can be surfaced within iManage Work Web. And in the second and third demo, I'm going to show how the exact same agent can be surfaced with Microsoft Word, and then we'll wrap up with Teams. All right, to do this demo, I'm going to bring up my Work Web interface here, iManage Work Web interface. And you can see here that I'm right within iManage Work Web, the web browser interface. And when I'm navigating to these different workspaces, you would see a button pops up. Now we support both iManage Work Server on-prem customers and iManage Cloud customers. So this agent will seamlessly, depending on your deployment model and depending on whether you have enabled KLapper agent and set it up properly, you'll have this button automatically pop up for one or more users, depending on how you deploy that Work Web add-in. And once you click on it, it'll just open up the agent in the context of that workspace. Now, why is this so important? This is important because in generative AI, context is everything. If you have a very broad context, you would get hallucinations / wrong answers. If you have a narrow focused context, you would get you have a better chance of getting a better answer, a more human-like answer. So KLapper narrows down on this idea of context engineering. In fact, all of Jaden's demo you saw, just connecting the dots here, you saw how KLapper agent was able to answer questions very similar to how a human would answer a question on who are the different data scientists or about a client or about a matter, because the context is very narrow. So we bring the same experience here within this iManage context, where if you're within the workspace, the agent automatically goes into that context. The current context becomes the workspace. If I'm within a folder, the agent's context automatically becomes that folder. Or if I'm literally clicking on a document, the agent's context becomes the document. And that's so important because now the agent is constantly answering your questions based on where you are. So you can see here in the KLapper agent, I simply ask a question here. It knows who I am. And I simply ask, find me all the copyright documents, and it goes up and finds it. But if I go deeper into this folder structure and I invoke the agent, I can ask this agent any questions based on any one of these documents that is in this location, or I can be very specific by selecting a specific document, like in this case, the employee stock purchase plan, and asking the agent a very specific question related to the document. So if this is of interest to you guys, you can certainly leave my contact details so we can follow up with you guys for a detailed demo. We actually have a follow-up webinar coming up. If you guys want to mark it on November 19th, you'll see that soon on ILTA email come up, where we're going to deeper dive into this iManage AI agent powered by KLapper. So my next demo is going to focus on beyond DMS. So our agent builder platform is designed for creating private agents that can connect to any knowledge repository, not just NetDocs and iManage and SharePoint, obviously, but beyond all these DMS collaboration portal products. What about time and billing databases? What about experience databases? What about CRM databases and applications? What about custom homegrown applications? What about SQL Server? What about Fabric data lakes? KLapper has connectors to all these different data sources, so you can basically learn from the data where it lives. So what I'm about to show you is a couple of examples of how KLapper intelligence can be surfaced in a very secure way in basically applications that you're used to working. So here's Microsoft Teams. So let me pull it up here. So I have a number of different queries here. For example, I can ask questions about how many vacation days do I get, to what are my tasks for today, which is a really cool query that I can ask. But KLapper is able to do roll-up of the data from many different platforms that it has learned from. For example, when I ask a question like my task for today, it automatically knows who I am, and it goes and queries all these different sources that we've asked KLapper to learn from my time and billing databases to my conflict checking database or application to my matter, time and billing matters to my HR application. So here KLapper is basically able to consolidate that and give me a quick actionable link. So for example, when I click on the matters link here, it will simply open up that matter page and show me what exactly is going on. What is it that I need to action? So with proactive and reactive alerts built into the KLapper platform, this platform is now able to not just do stuff for you, answer questions for you, but it can also deliver these alerts proactively to you first thing in the morning. You can see here on a daily basis, I get these alerts from KLapper first thing in the morning. It's very similar to how some of the news channels do, like the top 5 things for you that you need to care about the first thing in the morning. So with an agent proactively working for you, analyzing all these applications and rolling that up and giving you this kind of really cool one card wherever you work. So you could be in SharePoint on your intranet, you could be in Teams, you could be within the KLapper mobile app, which could be on your iPhone or Android or a Windows app. Or you could be within the iManage platform, or you could be within Microsoft Word. So these alerts can be served to you where you work. So the next piece of demo I'm going to show you from a KM perspective is basically finding knowledge beyond documents, beyond some of the information we've seen so far, information sources. For example, experience. What if I'm looking for a specific matter that I want some information on? For example, finding something like, okay, find me a list of matters that have a transaction value of greater than 20K or 200K or whatever that in the case might be, and its ability to go off and find that information for me real time. Or in this instance, you can see here where I have a doc ID that I know by heart, and I can just type that, and KLapper is able to find that document for me from iManage, where I can just simply click on it and open the document in iManage. And I'm doing that all in Teams. And remember, it's the same agent that can be also surfaced in SharePoint, that can also be surfaced in all the other platforms I talked about. So here's an example of how I'm asking questions on whether we have an NDA for a client, and it goes off and finds an NDA and so on, and I'll ask a series of follow-up questions on that. But what about document drafting? What about document redlining and all the cool stuff that you've seen before, I'm sure, with other competitive products? The difference between KLapper and some of our competitors is that we are 100% private. As you saw Jaden talk about, that KLapper learning can be completely customized to just your knowledge. So we are not learning from internet sources. The model has not been trained on hundreds and thousands of documents and prompts from other knowledge sources. This is your content. So when KLapper does redlining of data, it's based on your data. So here is KLapper agent in action within Microsoft Word, where I can simply ask a question and it can redline the whole document. I can pick and choose which one I want to accept or reject. And the beauty about our agent within Microsoft Word is it preserves formatting. This is a huge deal. So majority of the Word add-ins out there, they break formatting. The attorneys have to go and fix formatting. With our agent, it can both create documents and edit documents, preserving the document formatting, because our core engine basically manipulates the open XML behind the scenes of Microsoft Word. And the beauty about this Word add-in becomes even better when you couple that with context. As I said before, context is everything for KLapper. KLapper agents perform better because of good context, narrow context. And we build upon that concept. As you can see here, I can select my agent, very similar to how Jaden showed in SharePoint. And the context is something I can set here by simply clicking on select documents, and I'm going into iManage and getting my documents so that I can feed the context. So I can say, look, I want you to review this document. Great. All the competitors do this, right? So you can review the document and so on and so forth. You can add a prompt. You can do a redlining, but the context is missing. In our case, you can set the context here by saying, look, that's great. You have this non-disclosure agreement, but you want to select that as a context, our playbook document, our goal document, our template document. So we can set the context and say, look, now redline this document that I received from the client in the context of our playbook document or our template document for our firm. And I can select that from directly from my manager on NetDocs or SharePoint or wherever the document is in, from a network share or from your computer. So now, if I start a redlining process, the context makes sure that I get the right redlines of the document based on my firm's private template, not some random content that the engine's trained on, that the model is trained on. The last thing I'm going to show you guys is our agentic capabilities. The ability for KLapper to basically do tasks on your behalf. So far, we've learned how we are basically helping our client Dickinson Wright surface firm intelligence. So this demo is going to showcase how KLapper can do stuff for you. You can simply delegate tasks. We saw a use case of that with my task for today, where KLapper is proactively serving you intelligence. Hey, you have 5 timesheets overdue. You have these actionable conflicts pending. You have 5 or 6, whatever the PTO days pending, whatever those alerts were. Proactively. So that's a semi-autonomous agent in action, where the agent is delivering proactively data to me for me to action. But what about me trying to ask the agent to do stuff for me? For example, schedule a meeting, or find somebody's availability, or do a support ticket for me. So let's do a quick demo of that. So here I am back to my SharePoint portal, and I have this agent deployed, the exact same agent that we looked at in Teams right here in waiting for me. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to simply ask a question, something like, hey, my laptop camera is cracked, please help. And KLapper gets to action here. So it goes and searches the knowledge base, and it comes back and it will give me a number of different options. If I don't want it to do that, I can simply ask it to create a support ticket, and it'll go off and create a support ticket in ServiceNow in this example. I'm conscious of time. Again, this is the interest to you guys. We'll happily kind of do a private demo. We can set up a call to make sure that we can deeper dive into some of these capabilities. I do want to pass the mic back to Jaden just for a minute, because I want him to kind of reflect on some of the cool things we are working on with Jaden. But before I do that, I just want to leave you guys with this, what's coming soon with KLapper. So we are adopting the MCP model, which means that both with the iManage MCP and some of the other MCP servers available already, along with our own MCP servers that we're building, KLapper will become a subscriber to this data. So this is a reality today in our lab where you can get a 360-degree view of the matter just by saying, tell me more about the matter, given that I have access to it. It automatically gets data from the DMS, my emails, my meetings from my Exchange, the whole Shazam, and my team's messages, and gives me a 360-degree view. Just going to pass the mic to Jaden just for a minute, just for him to share what we're doing with Dickinson Wright on the agentic side.
Yeah, so on the agentic side, a lot of the stuff that we're getting into, we're really starting to push this whole, we have this innovation approach that we have coming up that we're starting within the next month to really automate a lot of the back-end functionality of the business side of our law firm. It's hard to get too much into the details without getting like really into stuff that is kind of on the confidential side, but we're looking at handling a lot of our like conflicts and intakes, some things in the accounting department, a lot of areas in the back end that really we feel can automate and help increase the efficiency so that the people doing, the real work of, the work that lawyers should be doing have more time to focus on that and less on the more minutia and the day-to-day details.
Thank you, Jaden. I know we are right at time here. Again, I'm going to put the contact details here. You can certainly contact us at any time if you want a more follow-up, more customized demo. Thank you, everyone, for attending. We see a bunch of questions posted here. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but we'll answer them as part of a follow-up of the email that you'll all get for this webinar, including the recording of this session. Thank you so much for attending. We appreciate it.